Hello, welcome to the Kitchen Spy. My name is Kate and we're here with another Meals of the Week video, and I hope that it finds you safe and well and that you've had a good week and that you've eaten some lovely food. So I'll take you through what we've eaten for our food this week, but then I will also take you with us on a walk that we did at the Hafod Estate, which is near to Aberystwyth in West Wales. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be after Meals of the Week. So I hope you enjoy the video and let's have a look at what we ate. But before we do that, I would actually just like to say that I had a little bit of a technical issue with my phone, which some of you will know is that I dropped it down the toilet. So yes. So I've been using various phones, old phones, my husband's phones, and so on and so forth. I use a phone for Meals of the Week because it's always around as I'm serving up. So forgive if there's going to be any quality issues. So on the Saturday we had something really simple, and again forgive the half and half in terms of light there. We were at the caravan here, so we just had some light and lean sausages, egg, chips and beans, and this was really lovely actually, and 424 calories because these lean and light sausages, they're only about 60 something calories each, so they're really good value in terms of calorific value. And then on the Sunday I did a roast dinner, and this was roast pork, and again this was outside actually, so I couldn't really see what I was filming, and that's really clear now because I can also see my thumb in the top left hand corner. I am deeply ashamed to show this to you, but anyway, it's all I've got. So it was roast pork, roast potatoes, roast radishes, which I did for the first time, and they were okay. Carrots, beans and asparagus and some crackling, and I don't know exactly how many calories that was, but it was about 700 calories I think. But yeah, that was really tasty, and sorry about the really poor footage there. And then on the Monday it was just leftovers, so more pork, more potatoes, more vegetables, and this time I remembered to put Yorkshire pudding on the plate, which I'd forgotten completely from the day before. I was serving it up on Sunday and I was thinking, do you know, something just doesn't look right, and I couldn't work out what it was, but it was that I'd missed the Yorkshire pudding, so this was Monday. And then on Tuesday it was something from the freezer, so a spaghetti bolognese from a previous cook in the freezer, served with pasta, so gluten-free pasta and some parmesan, and that was 585 calories, and that's just because I had 100 grams dry portion of pasta. Otherwise the bolognese sauce is actually quite low in calories, and I think you can get a really good meal from the freezer if you freeze these sauces, and then you've just got something to hand all the time. Then on Wednesday I did this lentil bake. Now I've done a recipe for this, so this will either be up on Sunday coming or the Sunday after, I'm not sure yet. I did a vegetarian recipe Sunday just gone, so I'm really not sure, but anyway, it was delicious. I really liked it. It was just something I kind of invented myself, so I will put that recipe up, but this was only 290 calories of really lovely food. Then on the Thursday, and I am deviating away from the Meals of the Week plan that I'd got, so this is cauliflower cheese, so I'd got a really lovely cauliflower, and I did say I was going to do that, but then I forgot to put it on Meals of the Week, but here it is. So cauliflower cheese, gluten-free version obviously, and it's got bacon in it, so crispy bacon as well, so it really is a whole meal. So I've just served it here with some tender stem broccoli, and that entire plate of food is 505 calories. And again, sorry for the shadow of the phone there, that's got nothing to do with the fact that I hadn't got my real phone, that's just really poor filming on my behalf. Anyway, so yeah, this was really lovely, and every time I do this I think, why don't I do it more often, because it's just so simple and so lovely to eat. So cauliflower cheese with bacon. And then on the Friday, this is Cajun dirty rice, and this is from the Pinch of Nom cookbook. So this is 304 calories. So Actually, this is a frozen batch from a previous cook, and that's why we're having this again this week when we had it last week, although I had lost the footage last week. So yeah, this is 304 calories and from the Pinch of Nom cookbook. So if you're leaving at this point, thanks very much for watching, and from on now this is all about a walk that we did in an estate called Hafod, which is in West Wales. So firstly, we took our sandwiches with us. So this is just the packed lunch that I put up, which is sandwiches, some crisps, some chocolatey treats, including a Tunnocks tea cake, of course, and also some chopped up nectarine. And this was a really lovely walk and we really enjoyed ourselves. So I hope you enjoy the scenery that I'm just about to show you. So the Hafod Estate is about 12 miles from a town in Wales called Aberystwyth, and Aberystwyth is on the coast, and it's a really thriving university town with a lot of Welsh language spoken and a lot of Welsh language courses and things, and it's a really lovely town to go and see if you get a chance. So it's owned by the National Resources Wales, and they run it in partnership with the Hafod Trust. And this estate is about 200 hectares, and as I say, about 12 miles from Aberystwyth, and it is just so beautiful. And we went here on a bank holiday weekend, so the whole of Ceredigion was just rammed with people. And this was just, we did see people obviously, but it was just so beautiful. You could just get away from it all, and social distancing was no problem. But what is interesting about it, in my opinion, is that there was a mansion house here, and it was built by a guy called Thomas Jones, not the Tom Jones that's around now, but Thomas Jones. And he was born in 1748, and he built a mansion house here, and he also developed the grounds on the principles of this picturesque principle, which was popular at the time. And so they took like the natural landscape and they developed it and added follies and bridges. And what we're seeing now is the gorge walk, the Ystwyth Gorge Walk. So this is the River Ystwyth, and it's just so beautiful. The house isn't there anymore, and that's what kind of gives it a really big mystique, in my opinion. So yeah, there's lots of circular walks, and it used to be owned by the Cistercian monks at the Strata Florida Abbey, which is quite close to here. And there's just some lovely things on the estate. As you can see here, this is a kind of bridge over the gorge and is quite scary. I'm not very good with heights and things, so walking across this bridge, I didn't like doing it. But actually, as you can see in a minute, here is a rare sighting of the lesser spotted kitchen spike going across the bridge in a minute. So yeah, it was a bit of a nerve-wracking thing for me to do this, because I just don't like heights or wobbly bridges. I'm not sure anybody does like a wobbly bridge, but yeah, I didn't like it. But anyway, I got across it, and I'm glad I did, because it's just so beautiful. And as you can see, across from the bridge, there's this beautiful gorge, which is obviously natural, but what they've done is added things to it, like this 3-arch folly here, which just kind of adds to the natural beauty. And this would have been walks for people during the heyday of the estate, which was in the late 1700s, early 1800s. So yeah, the family lived there, and they had lots and lots of people come to stay. So it was kind of on the grand tour list, if you like, of places that you needed to see if you were a wealthy individual. This is one bridge again across it, and you can see here that's a beautiful river, but you can see that they've built a road across it, but I think that's just temporary. And as you kind of come out of the forestry, then you come out into some open farmland with forestry either side. So this really is a kind of hidden valley, and he did actually farm the land, and he was famous for using experimental methods, and I think he was one of the first people to bring dairy cattle across from the continent, from the Netherlands into the UK. And this is one of the bridges as well. This is the rustic bridge. Now, I'm not sure whether this is a rebuilt version of the original bridge or what. I'm just not sure. But yeah, every corner, every turn you make, there's something new and different to look at. And it was an up and down walk, but it was really, really lovely. And like I say, at a time when we don't want to be spending much time in the company of other people, you can really lose yourself in this estate. The walks are all waymarked, so there's no kind of jeopardy in terms of getting lost. And it was lovely. We've been here a couple of times, and of course Jess has been here with us and she loved it too. So this is where the house was originally, and you can see what a glorious position it was in. So yeah, it was a really spectacular house, and there's just nothing of it left now. So you can see the steps, well, I say nothing of it left apart from these steps, and if you walk up there, that's where we ate our lunch actually. But these are some old pictures. There's a few old pictures that I just downloaded to show you, and the copyright is perfectly fine on these. I have checked, and these from the National Library of Wales. So this is what the Hafod Estate looked like in its early days. It says it's in South Wales. It's not in South Wales. I suppose it was all relative at that point. But in 1807, the house was actually destroyed by fire, and it was actually rebuilt. So some of these pictures, which I'm showing you in a minute, these will be after it was rebuilt. But the house was spectacular by all accounts, and had got absolutely loads and loads of famous paintings in there. So paintings by people like Van Dyck or Canaletto or Rubens. So some really spectacularly famous paintings and things actually lived in this place. And you can see what a beautiful landscape it was in, honestly. I mean, just how lovely. And it's just such a shame that it's not there anymore. So the house was, as I say, it was destroyed by fire in 1807, but the family were okay. I think Thomas Jones was actually in London at the time, but his family escaped unhurt, thankfully. And he did rebuild the house, but he died originally. He did die in 1816, and eventually the house just passed on to other owners, and it went through several ownerships, and I don't think anyone ever treated it with the kind of respect or was able to spend the amount of time, money and effort on it that Thomas Jones and his family did. So it kind of went through several owners, and then it was declared vacant in 1946, and by 1958 it was completely derelict, and then it was demolished. And so yeah, it just I don't know whether anyone else feels this, but it just, something like that just feels so sad, that something like that happened to this wonderful house. I know I'm banging on about this, but it really kind of affected me, this place. It was, I don't know whether it's because obviously this year has been a year of real reflection for everybody, but going to this place and seeing these beautiful gardens that so much love and effort and time and care went into, and to sit on a little bench where this magnificent house once stood to eat our sandwiches, it just really affected me. So that's why I just wanted to share it with you. So I hope I haven't bored you by going on about it too much. So this is really what's left of the house. There's various bits of masonry and big rocks and piles of rubble and things, but the stables still are in existence, and they're just behind that fence over there, and you can walk round past them. But I just think it's so fascinating, and we ate our lunch here on a bench, a wooden bench, and you know, it was just fascinating to think that we were probably sat inside some magnificent house where the room once stood. So there's me and my corned beef sandwiches, and there's the view across, and this where we were there, that's on the kind of plateau that the house would have stood. So I like to think we were in the dining room enjoying our corned beef sandwiches. Obviously, because this is primarily a food channel, I'm just going to show you a bit of food as well. So this is just some chopped up nectarine, which I think is always a really good thing to take on to a picnic. So take some fruit, but because obviously it can be messy to eat, I just chunk it up like we are 3-year-olds. we eat it with cocktail sticks. So this is just a couple of nectarines chopped up. And during the walk as well, in the rucksack, there was a big disaster. And yes, my Tunnocks tea cake got damaged. So I'll open it up for you here, and so you can see just how awful the damage was. Although I ate it, obviously. I'm not going to throw a Tunnocks tea cake away. But that just gives you a sense of the jeopardy we had on this walk, that the Tunnocks tea cake didn't make it. I ate it. I did eat it. And then actually you can stay on the estate. There's a cottage. This is called Hawthorn Cottage, and it's by a little pond, and it is a listed building, and yeah, you can stay here if you want to. And you can get in. There's no mobile reception. It says within miles, and I looked on the details and it doesn't look like there's any Wi-Fi or telephone or anything. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, what a perfect place to be if you just wanted a complete sense of isolation. So that's Hawthorn Cottage. And yes, so the Hafod Estate, so it's pronounced Hafod but spelled Hafod, and yeah, so that was a beautiful day out, and heartily recommend it. On the way back from the Hafod Estate to our caravan, you pass a monument, which is a graffitied wall of an abandoned cottage, which is in remembrance of a village called Ceredigion, which was drowned during the creation of the reservoir Llyn Celyn, which was to supply water to Liverpool. And this was created by protesters and has been there for a long time, and is a really important thing in Welsh history and even current situation now. So it says Cofiwch Truerin, which means remember Truerin. And yeah, so that is also something very important and also very moving. So again, this, we talked about it previously with Mynydd Epynt, where there were populations that were moved out, and it was the same here with Truerin. Anyway, sorry to end up on a bleak note. So yeah, I feel like Meals of the Week is becoming like about a quarter of the video that I do. So I hope you forgive me that. But what I'm thinking is that if you don't like the other stuff, then you can switch off at the end of Meals of the Week. And I will bookmark where these things start down below. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you are already a subscriber, I really appreciate that. And if you're not yet and you feel like you might want to, please press that subscribe button. Would be great to have you on board our growing Kitchen Spy family. So you take care of yourself. Thanks so much for watching. I always appreciate your support. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. You take care. Bye bye.